Hi, I'm Anne Marie, known as the Velvet Hammer because of my soft wordage but direct honesty. I promise when I read for you that you will not have a sugar-coated reading. Because that just leads wonderful, great people like you hanging on to bad situations. So the last thing you need to do when you get a psychic is to pay them or waste your time hearing a lot of wonderful feel good with no accuracy, right? And how do I say that you can tell if a reader is accurate? Well, the way I do it is you just give me your first name. Or maybe you want to ask me a question, but still give me that first name. I will tell you what I see around you briefly. And then when I do that, a reading in the now, then you can ask me for anything you want. Because, honey, if you're going to ask me for information on an unproven future, I do not want to beat around the bush. I want to be real with you. So, today, I just want to say that our topic is going to be the sociopath next door. And what is that? Well, I tell you what, this wonderful, wonderful book was given to me as a feel-good read on the plane on the way back from the Carolinas. And if you don't think that that's a little bizarre, sitting inside a plane, watching all the people around you trying to decide which one is a sociopath. But here's what it comes down to. A sociopath is not your Jeffrey Dahmers only. A sociopath is someone that just does not have a conscience. They know how to blend in with society. They can be your friend. They can be your lover. They can be someone in your own family. There are certain symptoms to look for. And I say this because especially if you're interested in people that seem to be the bad boys or the bad girls of your life, you might want to think about whether you're starting to be attracted to these symptoms. A sociopath is somebody that is a chronic liar. A sociopath is somebody that uses pity to be able to get their way with compassionate people. A sociopath can be withdrawn, but many times they are charismatic, wonderful people, as in the case of a person that was 14 years old, belonged to a wealthy family, and had a wonderful start in life by blowing up bullfrogs on his family's property. No conscience, but he was charismatic, he was wonderful, and no one would have ever known. But that's not what all sociopaths do, because a lot of sociopaths are just like our neighbors, normal people. The only thing that maybe is a little bit different about them is that after they use somebody, or they betray somebody, or steal from somebody, they have no conscience about it. They just walk on, and they have no regrets. Now, I'm not saying that every person that's a chronic liar, or everybody that is a person in your life that is perhaps charismatic and impulsive, or someone that likes pity, is a sociopath. But those three qualities together are symptoms that you might want to watch out for. And the reason I say watch out for it, because isn't 2012 all about people that perhaps are conscious changing people? 2012 is about the consciousness of the world changing. We can see it in London right now, in Liverpool, that people are senselessly burning. They're still trying to ask themselves why it's happening. They're not quite sure. And of course, in comes the police and the grenades and the helicopters, trying to stop something they don't understand, which then creates more stress to the environment. We can see it in Wall Street. We can see it in, just the attitude of many people that have had it. But the main thing is, a compassionate person of 2012, in the midst of consciousness changing, it's important that you remember that you do not owe the sociopath anything. Walk away. And yes, their mystique may be interesting, but in the long run, when they have deceived you or when they walk away, they don't feel regret. So, enough of that, okay? Now, I just want to say that a lot of people call me this, they call me the Velvet Hammer. I told you that. So today, I invite you to come into my sparkly 1950s Café booth at the Down Home Metaphysical Café bread shop, right? And we're going to have readings, and we're going to just talk about things the way it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I'm not going to throw a lot of metaphysical garbage words on you. I am who I am. You are who you are. And if you're coming for a reading, hey, let's just be real with each other, okay? So, I noticed that there are some people online. We've got Margaret from Colorado. We've got Pierre from Canada. We've got Chris from Tennessee. And we've got Michelle from Indiana. And I want to thank you all for being a part of the show. Today's deck that I am using is a little mini Rider-Waite deck. And it is so old that it makes hardly any noise. So let's get going with Margaret. Hey, Margaret, how you doing?
Hi, Anne. How are you? I'm doing. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Oh, I'm hanging in there.
Good.
Yes.
That's all you can do right now, right? And
yeah, for now, that's all I can do.
Yeah, and my engineer, the sound engineer for Achieve Radio, Bill, told me today that it's Mercury retrograde. So maybe when that gets going on its way, we'll be back on top of the world again. But what can I do for you?
I sure hope so.
And I do want to remind everybody, you can watch this show as it's happening on video. I invite you just to go to the achieveradio.com site, and you can just click on watch video, and I will be here in all my prairie crone imperfection for you to say hi to. So, Margaret, go ahead. What's your question?
Yeah, my question is, do you see any changes coming into my life, in the near future? Because I seem to be a bit confused right now.
Well, that's a very broad question, Margaret. And, I guess I would say, if it's okay, I'm going to look at a little energetic reading about,
That's right.
just